Hey, welcome back. It is I, this is DrBossKey, and today we are going to spend some time continuing our playthrough of Tastrion. So Tastrion is a game by our friend MagnaRemora, who's in the Shmup creator community. Shout out to you, buddy. Multi-talented. This is his first, I think, game project that he's releasing. He's got a beta now, so he's been cranking really hard to get through things. And I thought we would do one of the best things we could do for anyone, and that's what we like as well, and dedicating our time to our fellow Shmup developers, because it's one of the greatest gifts you can give. I may not be the most crazy expert in terms of game dev and game playing of Shmups, but any data and all data that comes from folks playing, especially when they can record their playthroughs, is valuable for the data scientists in our game development brains, because every back in the day when I was in QA for game development, every tester is like 100,000 people. So even if it only happens to one tester pretty consistently, it means that it's still valid, a valid data point to be considered, right? So all right, so let's see. Let me push some buttons. Oh, that's the wrong button to push. Oh, oh. Whoa. Hey. Ah! Just kidding. Zay being crazy. Okay, let's see. Push the right buttons. Let's see. Yeah. Game scene. All right. All right. And there we are. Moving that over. Let's go to the latest build. I already downloaded it. Yesterday's video, we, for the most part, gave a lot of feedback on controls, and the nice thing about Shmup Creator is that I know for my own development what feels really good for analog stick. I need to plug in our PlayStation 5 controller here as well. And like I said, I also recognize I think I need to order an arcade stick. So it's been a while. One for PC and see where I end up with that. So maybe something that's cross like PS5 and PC. But anyways, I digress. So so this build is different from yesterday's build. So thank you very much, MagnaRemora, for turning this around. And I gave it one quick playthrough last night before I went to bed, and which reminded me I want to share with you a little bit here. Okay, so let me see. I got replay buffer running because it's just in case. I'm recording. Okay, I think we're good. Good thing I'm checking. All right. So I think we're good to go. Okay, so Magna, I went to bed thinking about this, and I think when I think about the weapons and how all the weapons are coming together, basically, I think the charge up weapon it just doesn't look beefy enough. I mean, this thing needs to visually just look and feel like a real beast of a weapon. And I think part of that is in the, let me see here. Let's skip intro. Look at the music. Look at me, I can turn this up a little bit. I'll get back to this point in a second. Yeah. Alien pathogens. Dude, I love that. I love that so much. It's so silly. Totally reminds me of being like a kid. In a good way. In a very good way. All right. So back to what we're talking about with the weapons. So I think, all right, so we got our bits. I think it's the rail. Yeah, so the rail is what we're talking about. Okay, so here it is, right? First off, so it's a press the button down, charge up, let go of the button, and then release, right? So it's already a high skill gap weapon, and I know that it's got piercing and it does more damage, a little more damage than the rapid shot. But I was thinking about this last night when I was playing against the boss. It takes a lot to use. I mean, it's a very fatiguing weapon, and because it's not coupled with anything, meaning that it's not like coupled with let's see, because it's a weapon dedicated to a button. It means you can't be using your other weapons, which is part of the gameplay, which is good. But you also could take a page from and this is just food for thought. But you could take a page from like Dan Maku style games, or where you have a reverse charge up. Gunvein does this really well as well. So you're shooting, and while you're shooting, you also have the charging of the charge shot itself. And so when like rapid fire is shooting, same button, right? And then you could map this the rail cannon to that, so it would give you an opportunity to let go of the button. So you're rapid fire, and then let go, and then you would get the big boost, right? So you could still have the charge. So food for thought. I would think about maybe combining it, but regardless of combining it, even if you want to leave it on its own button, be a thing too. I think it just needs to have more beef to it. I think it needs to do more damage. I see that it's doing chunks, but it feels like those chunks are almost the same amount of damage that I'm doing. It may not be this way on paper in terms of your design, but I feel like they're doing almost the same amount of damage. So I'm like, well, why use a charge up long weapon that you have to aim, right? It's got pass through, which is great, but it totally also makes my fingers move to an entirely different weapon set. I find what I wind up doing is I wind up holding like the rapid fire as I'm starting to get better at the game now, and then switching to spread, which I really enjoy, by the way, and I kind of alternate back and forth. So moving to another button on top of it makes it even more stressful. And because as I'm holding the button down, if I don't get the charge up timing correct, then I lose a whole salvo. So my overall DPS goes down for each shot I fire if I happen to miss, right? So food for thought, something to think about. And then wheeling it back, I think make this thing, make it big, make it wide. Like, maybe like if it's, this is where you've got right here, right? This is like the size of the bullet, right? I would say, relative to the ship, do something wacky, make the bullet like this, like big, like, because, and then I'm just trying to incentivize it, right? So, but if it were bigger like that, then I'd be like, oh shit, this is much bigger. And I know I actually think when we have the rapid fire, where we have the little option guys, it might turn out that the rapid fire, it needs to be wider than the rapid fire, because I think the rapid fire dudes are something like this, right? So, just so it might be that it needs to be a little bit bigger. And then I know it's uncomfortable. I went through the same thing in my game because I have high health enemies, right? I have popcorn and high health, and then my core gameplay is the bottom weapon in my the rapid fire in my weapon. If it's not doing well enough, then I'm encouraging the player to switch to the bottom weapon, the power shot, the alternate weapon, right? Which they all have a little bit of a charge up to them. Not a charge up and release, just a charge up and fire, and it's continuous fire at that point. But I had to crank that thing like 10 times. It had to be 10 times more powerful, because a rapid fire shot, you're always putting out bullets, even if they're not really doing as much damage as you expect. The player feels like they're more powerful, and you already have the spread shot, which kind of gives that flavoring of having a lot of range but not having a lot of damage, so it's acceptable. Great for popcorn enemies, right? So anyways, I was thinking about it, and I thought I would just share that with you. So okay, so now that we got our controls together, let's do this. Chuff, 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 chuff. Yeah. Rail shot. Yeah, see? All right. I want to get focused though. Here we go. I have now played through level 1 3 or 4 times. Yeah, take that, Shuffles. Look at these little popcorners. Yeah, energy. Oh, good. I'm gonna take damage. Already you can see that the maneuverability for me in the game, 98 difference. Energy. What's up, Chuffas? Oh, damn, I cracked the wall. Can't believe I did that. All right, here we go. All right. Trying to relax a little bit and settle in. I'm cold. I haven't played any games today, so... Oh, damn it, I did it again. All right, so what is the damage on the wall? Oh, wow. So you do the same thing that I did. So I got 3 hit points. Boosh. Woof. Yeah, okay. Yeah, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I wound up seeing that I was getting in my own environmental enemy like damage. I had for a long time much more damage. I wound up cranking that down. I don't think you need to necessarily do this in this case, but you know, just I think just keep the bot. Energy. Oh no! Life! Yeah. Oop, take that.
Shield. Energy.
Yeah, energy and shield. Man, I'm enjoying the music. What's up, chuffers? Dude, I know that makes you happy when I automatically switch to the right weapon for the right situation.
Emergency. Emergency.
Cremo to font. Hang on, I need to turn this up. Dude, you hear that sound? The synth sound? And we got the yeah. All right, here we go. Oops, I pushed that wrong button. I mean, that's good, but also not the button I want to push. All right, here we go. Yesterday, we did a bunch of feedback on navigating bullets. Oh, some damage there. And I know Magna's working on some of that. Oh, took some damage there. On my shield, I think. Oh. Fatty.
Energy.
Power up energy.
Bonus clear.
Bonus clear. Oh yeah. I'm definitely enjoying where we're at with that. Nice on the white bullets. The white purple bullets. Those definitely read really well against the dart. And this weapon is kind of crazy. I like that you have the options. This is nice. Nice job on that. No goodies out of the door. Oh crap! And then whack right into the wall I went. Take that, you backers. All right. Nice bullet spreads there. Easy to navigate through, which I enjoy. Easy as in able to see the gap. Oh crap. Wrong spot for those guys.
Energy. Shield.
Mr. Evil. Got my shield here. I like your little worms. These worms are great. Guys, definitely put out. So you have some of these bullets. I'm not sure necessarily, but I'm noticing like these guys here. Yeah, and maybe let me take a quick look. Can I do this? We're gonna try something new here. Pooch. Let me try to dry my eyes. Tooch. All right. Okay, I don't need that window. I need this one here. All right, cool. Let me just take a quick look. And this weapon is kind of crazy. I like that you have the options. It's nice. All right. Able to see the gap there. Easy to navigate through, which I enjoy. I think it's the speed of these. Can I do that? Let's see here. I think it's the speed of these guys. These bullets, they linger a long time. Easy as in able to see the gap. I mean, there's such a long time. I mean, it's not bad necessarily, I guess. Little worms. I guess what I'm saying is that you have some of these bullets, they're just a tad bit on the long, like on the slow side, right? I don't know if that's anything I'd really do about that yet, but it's just perception wise. All right, let's get back to it.
Energy.
Because bullets left on screen basically are permanent dangers, right? So what's up, Sarah Blaine? Enjoying those bullet patterns? Oh, good damage there. Dude. I enjoy that bullet pattern quite a bit. This one here. And we talked about that yesterday, right? Compared to the bullet pattern ahead of, in front of that, I think there's not enough wind up for it. All right, what's up? Buttercups. Energy. Yeah. I like these because you can see the gaps. And they catch my eye. Something is so good about, and I talked about this in, I'm playing a Katana Shin, right? And I think, let's see here. Let me push this button again. Developing a new commentary workflow for you, friend. And just to, you know, do the stuff. Let's see here. And I think it's the speed of these. See the gaps. Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. It's not enough wind up for it. All right. What's enough that yesterday? Enjoy that bull. Okay. So. Wow, it's dumping buckets here in California right now. Let's see here. So this bullet pattern here, you have no wind up for it, right? It just fucking pow! It just shoots out like a crazy man, right? But the nice thing is it gets kind of wide, but it's a hard reflex dodge. I think I wound up hitting that right there. Not that that's in the world, dude. But now watch. Now you have this next bullet pattern, and it does this thing where it shoots out, slows, and then speeds up, right? And the thing that I love about these types of bullet patterns is that it helps my brain first see the pattern recognition of the bullets, all the danger bits, right? And then now that my brain has seen those, I can see the trajectory for those. I enjoy that bullet pattern quite a bit. This one, see, and it feels so good because it slows and then speeds up and off, right? And it just helps me identify the patterns. Something that it just, as I'm working on my own bullet patterns, I'm enjoying quite a bit. Yeah. Anyways, food for that. All right. Let's see. Oh shit. Oh shit. Kappa. Pushing buttons, going crazy. New setup. All right. Oh. You know what I should be doing? I should be hitting the pause button like a beast. Okay. And we're gonna get back into it. Here we go. Oh shit. All right, slow down. There we go, daddy. Oh, good Lost my shield. I like the crossover there of the red bullets. Oh, I died. I think the power-up came from doing damage to the boss. I'm not sure. Look at his little tentacle bits. Did you just have... So... Let's take a look here. Yeah, with the way Shmup Creator holds the window, you have to double tab to tab out of it. That's really annoying. Let's close some of these video windows. There we go. All right. So, quick little bit for you is that it helps my brain first see. Thanks, me. Oh. Tentacle bits. Look at that explosion. Explosion's nice. Going backwards. Dude. So, something aesthetically that I really enjoy, just really gets me, like gets my joygasm, is when you defeat a boss. It doesn't have to be every enemy, right? Because you want to have control over this, but when you defeat a boss and then all of the bullets cancel. And I know, and you know, granted, I have my own sensibilities for this as well. But so here we go, right? You can see, like, basically, the moment the boss destroys, all the bullets cancel, but they don't cancel into anything. I would suggest, at least, even if you don't want collectible bits flying into the player, but at least have these. And I guess that's the question. I don't know if, and I haven't played it long enough yet to know whether or not bullet canceling gives you anything like points or energy or any of that. But I would encourage you to at least add a bullet cancel effect to the bullets. Even if it's just like take the bullet, diffuse it, and it disappears, right? It doesn't have to actually fly into the player or any of that. So, but yeah, so maybe some food for thought. Feels like a little bit of a thing that can, you know, just help. It helps the moment that the bullets essentially turn into non-bullets, that it also is a nice little like serotonin, like dopamine hit, because defeating the boss, you're trying to survive through the bullets then go away, but if they go away with nothing else, no visual, then you're kind of missing that little candy flavor to that, right? Like that visual flavor. Okay. And then, yeah, so we're looking at the boss explosion, right? So I like the crossover there of the red bullets. And you know, I could probably move this up over here. Oh, hey, what was that? All right, cool. And then let's just take a look. Oh, I died. I'm not sure. Look at his little tentacle bit. So like your explosions for the boss, I think you can go bigger. And the thing is, you have all this like cool organic matter. I know it's easy for me to sit here and be like, hey, do better, right? But you might want to think about taking your art asset, and you know, you have the explosion. That's cool. And also, I know, look, explosions are expensive, you know, but I think we've both seen it with like Rub and a few other folks in the community. Some folks are really good at doing explosions for the boss. You could probably just go bigger. But you could take like your art asset as a basis. You could run it through, you know, Sprite Mancer or Juice Effects, right? So same thing in this case, but and then you can just do a nice like as a basis. I did some tutorials on it as well, but just to root it into the thing that you're like destroying, right? So food for thought. All right, more playing. Here we go. Corruption has been exterminated. Oh yeah, that's right. I must find the source before these monsters mutate into something. Yeah, we already talked about it. I'd increase the speed on the way the text comes in. It's just a little too languid. It's my own taste. So, oh, a little level defeat or a level complete. Like doo 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 doo. That was good. All right, here we go. Ooh, Rebel 2. Nice. Few popcorners. Nice, these guys are making cool little noises. Oh, I died. Dang it. Oh, they're little Homer missiles. All right. Oh, wow. Dude, these homers. Oh, look at that guy up there. Oh. I can't, I'm still learning the game itself. So, first of all, visually, I'm really enjoying, I love all this weird biomass. So good, so good. All right. So there, I think what was happening, right, is that, so I was pretty sure like this is the danger zone right here, right? And I feel like that's the play zone. So I can't quite tell you here. Probably the play zone is down here. So just visually, I'm trying to figure out like, okay, where can I fly and be safe? I see this guy here. And I was like, well, let me try to come up here to shoot this guy. And then of course I learned the lesson, right? Which is, the top and bottom there. So let me see what the bottom is here. All right. And I could have used bullet impact to kind of figure that out a little bit more. Yeah. These little mines. Whoa. What the shit are those? And I don't feel like, okay, so I suspect I can't fly over the vines. Oh crap. Damn Skippy. Don't worry about the 100 continues. This is just for reviewing's sake. All right, what's going on? Shit. Wow. Holy crap. So these little huggy snacks, these guys here, dude, now I don't want to hit these at all because the things that they're shooting out really fast, right? To the point where, I mean, let me just take a look at this again here. Videos. First of all, visually, I'm really enjoying. I love the whoa! So oh crap! Damn Skippy! I don't feel like, okay. So I suspect I can't fly over the vines. Oh crap! Whew! Damn vines! All right. So what's the deal here? Okay, so I saw that this guy took a shot here, and then we have these needles that just come out. Where do those comes from? Okay, so then, okay. Is he on the vine? Is he on the vine here? I can't quite tell. Let me see. All right. So I start looking, I'm learning the new language of your enemies, right? So we changed up the pop corners. I kind of get a sense for what those guys can do. And then I'm starting to learn about these guys. Now, the thing that's probably happening to me, right? And this is a page from my own design book, and doesn't mean it's right or wrong. It's just the way I kind of think about things, right? So when I introduce new enemies to the player, what I try to do is I try to layer them up, right? So I just did a rule of threes for me. Doesn't mean you have to follow this, but for instance, what I do, right, is every time the player discovers a new enemy, And there are times where I break this rule, but at least for the first, as I'm building up my own levels, right? So I introduce the enemy to the player in like groups of 3, like 3 screens, 3 times you get to see the thing, whatever it may be. But that way the player can start to learn the behavior of the enemy, right? And then after that, I take all the other enemies that I've introduced to them along the way, and I layer them up to then remix them. So it's like, oh, hey, now you know how to deal with this enemy type and its shot patterns and movement behaviors. Now do it in relationship to these other enemies. It could be popcorns or whatever they may be, right? So it gives you a nice brush as an artist, as a designer here. Okay. So then what's happening to me here is, whoops, go here. Is it 1? There we go. Is you have these really small enemy dudes, right? These guys are really small. And for how small they are and the amount of range they have for their bullets and the speed, it's a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot to try to understand. And pardon me, I'm dying. And so what's happening is I'm still looking for the enemies. This guy almost looks like he's behind the vine, so I don't even see where these guys are starting to come from. And then I'm using my spread shot, which is a nice side effect of it. But then I start exploding these guys even before I kind of understand what they are. And I'm like, oh. So that's actually, do you have a glow on these? Huh. Where did the glow go on these guys? So these bullets read really well. Does the glow reduce over time? Damn, Skippy. Don't worry about the 100 continues. This is just for reviewing's sake. Interesting. So I'm not sure if it's the particle limit budget. This looks good in terms of visibility. I feel like the glow, like dropping the glow on these needlers, makes it really hard to see these really small bullets. I feel like overall these guys are really dangerous, and I'm like trying to understand how to deal with them, right? So, all right. So then I want to start, what am I trying to do? So then I'm like, okay, well, let me try to understand where this major danger is coming from. And so I start scanning the environment for these things. Also, by the way, because I have these vines, the vines make it to where I have to dodge the environment while I'm still trying to learn about how to dodge these new enemy attacks. So I think maybe part of it is the size, the speed. Briefly, it might be the same kind of thing as with the boss, right? And maybe it's totally your game. Do what you want. And I think part of it is then just the fact that I'm killing a lot of very small enemies that are having a lot of AOE in the environment, and as a result, becomes harder to know how to dodge those. So, and I think part of the one things it's like if you could put some trails on these things. If you want them to read a little bit more, usually I only reserve trails for things that are following the player, which by the way, for those other homing orbs, that kind of helps because the player can see the trail of the bullet and then see the trajectory for it and kind of sense for that. Okay. All right. So let me get back into it. Oh, shit. Crap. All right. So maybe that guy, what the fuck? Why did that other guy explode? Oh, I missed it. Oh, do I take damage from it or not? Yeah, so those homers, I'd consider adding a trail to these guys here, because it's cool that they kind of linger quite a bit doing the homer bits, but I think a trail would be nice because then it can help me better understand the logic of that bullet. Nice, power up. Okay. dude, look at this little homer. Oh, that little homer bolt's following me. He's living the dream. Oh, a little shield.
Shield. Energy.
Energy. I forget what energy does. I think energy might give us. I think energy gives us bomb. Might be. Not sure.
Energy.
Maybe it gives us health. Might be a health. Still learning. Still learning. Wow. Look at the little vines. I like the little vine moves. Nice job, dude.
Emergency. Emergency.
All right, let's head it to it. Macro dodging. Am I getting damage down? I am not. I think I have to shoot the thing in the middle. Whoa. Whoa. Just so a little food for thought. So it's, first of all, the boss looks amazing, right? I like that your boss is taking up the whole screen. Yeah, get out of here. And you know, the weak spot is here. That's kind of what I have sussed out. Now, I think, you know, this is the thing with horizontal shmups, right? In that the farther you have to look across the screen to figure out what you're doing, whether you're being effective or not, the more dangerous it is to your player, right? Because if you're looking over here and your player craft is here, then the risk of getting hit is much greater, right? So let me take a look at this real quick. Let's take a quick look. Hopefully I got this. I only set it up for a 2-minute buffer, but look. All right. All right, cool, awesome. Look at the little vines. I like the little vine moves. Nice job, dude. Nice little touches. All right. Okay, so let me take a look here. Get rid of that. Okay, let's head it to it. Nice job, dude. Look at the little vines. I like the little vine moves. Nice job, dude. Okay. Look at the little, let's head it. Okay. So I think what I would suggest doing maybe. Nice job. So what I had a hard time doing, as you saw me playing, right, is trying to understand, am I being effective against the boss? And from the moment the boss appears, we have like these bullets, right, that are already starting to put pressure downstream on me, and that's cool, you know. I think what I would suggest doing, and this might be very easy, right, is, and maybe this is not a big deal, but just food for thought, is if you want players to better understand, all right, that they can, there's probably two things, right? So that this is the vulnerability spot. The thing is that your art, right? A couple bits here. So if this is the most effective, if this is the only area I can do damage to the boss in, then the thing is your art is essentially, it's showing the same thing here, but you kind of, you know, you have kind of this nice like carapace or whatever this is, that's kind of blocking these vulnerability spots. So it kind of funnels me sort of to understand that I have to deal with the center area, right? So a couple things you could do is when I'm shooting the carapace, you could trigger a sound effect that is like a negative sound effect, like a reflecting sound effect, or like it goes ching 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 or something like that, right? To get me to understand that there's something different when shooting the boss in the non-vulnerable spots. Also, let me see here. Is it this? Also, the other thing that you could possibly do in order to just help reduce confusion with where I'm shooting the boss, because when the boss is full screen, then the best part about that is that you don't have to think about where you're shooting. But in the case where you have to aim, you want players to better understand how to do that, right? So you could not have the boss attack, only start the boss attack patterns after it's taken like 100 points of damage or 200 points of damage. That way, then the player is actually able to look at your cool art, right? You've got these vines coming in. They can still bang down the boss pretty quickly, but if they do, 100 points of damage to like essentially start the boss attacks, that then reinforces where they're going to damage from. And if they happen to be shooting up here or down here at first, then they would be reinforced with where to be effective with the boss. So just food for thought. Okay, let's get back to it. Come on. Get rid of that. All right, cool. All right. And let's get this boss going. Mid boss. Whoa. Oh, I'm going to take damage. Okay. All right. Let's get in mode. In the zone. Here we go. Look at those guys. Those guys are cool. Good music. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, I already gave you the feedback. I'd consider making those dudes, the AoE dudes, bigger. So that way I can kind of better see if I'm actually going to blow them up. Whoa! That's awesome. Oh, look, I got a healthy bit. Oh, God. Gimme! All right, so I'm shooting the by the way, that's awesome. Oh, shit. No one puts daddy in the corner. Oh, crap. Except for me. You can see I have to look to the right to see if I'm actually being effective against the boss. And I know I could be using my charge up, right? Oh, crap. Oh, man, that's evil putting those little exploded guys. Nice bullets, string tendrils, by the way. Yeah, I mean, the speed of those things is great when they're far away. Oh, took damage. Even more of the new vines. Oh, took damage. Ruining metal, by the way. Oh, these are the destructible bullets. This may not be the case, but I at first thought these guys were those Homer bullets. That's apparently homing. Maybe they're not, but I do like that I can tell that they're a different bullet type. But if they are the same, you probably want to split them out into different types of bullet visualization. So just you're trying to build up a more consistent language of what I see and how to deal with it, right? Okay, here we go. I took damage. Oh, I almost missed those guys. Oh, look at this. Freak out. Oh, fuck me. And those guys occupy a lot. Uh-oh, I'm in really bad. Oh, damn. That was not the place to be. the boss, I mean, that's a sub boss, right? So now take this with a grain of salt. I'm sure there are better ways and faster ways to kill the boss because that's just the first time I played it. I felt like the boss might have been overstaying its welcome just a little bit by like a minute or so. I'd try to condense it a tiny bit there. And it could just be that when it brought up its defensive tentacles, like those barrier bits, just reducing the hit points on those things a little bit. But also your patterns, your waving patterns mean that I can only effectively get in there to shoot the boss in its weak spot when I'm following the pattern itself. Now, there might be some other places to be, maybe closer, a more optimized way of playing through. But I just went for the bombs to, to clean it up. So, all right, let's keep going. I might consider mixing your music just a tiny bit louder. Oh, crap. Whoa. Ooh, neat. Look at those guys. Oh, fuck me. All right, where did these... Okay, so they are different. Where did those things come from? Where did those things come from? Come on. That's so we just a tiny bit. All right. So I'm watching. I might consider mixing your music just a tiny. Okay, and these guys show up. They show up in pairs, and I'm like, holy shit! I didn't expect the homing on there, so I'm learning. Took damage. That's okay. Totally fine. Oh, okay. So is that they have revenge bullets? Is that it? Oh no, they shoot two types of attacks. Oh, okay. Holy fuck. Okay. Yeah, so these, I was like, I didn't even realize they were shooting both because the first attacks that they started shooting with, that I at least recognized, were the spread shots, right? So those took my attention. So, okay, so dude starts shooting that first wave. That guy shoots. And I'm not sure. I know what's that. So he shoots one there. I don't need sound. There we go. Oh, but now you have an enemy here that has two of these bomber things, right? Okay, I'm not quite sure I understand. They're carrying. I'm not sure. Still learning. So trying to learn. All right. But at least I know where they came from. Oh crap! Fucking little guy. All right. Holy shit! Dude, these long homers are really stressful. Oh fuck me.
Energy.
Crap. Fuck those guys. Okay. So this background is really visually noisy, very, very noisy. To the point where you're introducing new things. I think I saw a new thing up there and the worm guy at the bottom. I had a hard time seeing the enemies just in that space. So. Holy fuck.
Shield. Radiant bomb.
All right, I have 3 bombs. Yeah, the noise of these guys. So these guys, they're a little bit red and white. You've got a good amount of red and white in your backgrounds. So I'm really starting to lose track of these guys. I'm also, because of the whites and the noise here. I think we could probably just take the background repeating texture here and desaturate it a little bit and then darken it so it sits a little bit further back. That way it gives the bullets and things more visible space. Cool. Oh, crap. Dude, I didn't even see that guy. Power up on the option. Nice little cloud layer there. I like that. The organic bits are good.
Emergency! Emergency!
Emergency! Ooh, look at this guy. Hell yeah. Vertebroil. Vertebroil. I love that you added the nameplates for above the boss health bar. All right. All right. I like these attacks. They're pretty cool in terms of that. In terms of I like that they come out at an angle and then they go boop, boop, boop. So they got a little bit of home to them. Those feel pretty good. So you've got a lot going on. Totally cool. I think a lot of that is working. I feel like I'm having these little guys. There's so much stuff that lingers so slowly in the world that as I continue to try to see the new patterns and how to respond to them, I'm also I have to very closely watch for all of these things that are just lingering. And so it's creating this compounding effect in my mind where I'm trying to parse the bullets, and then I have to still remember that there's bullets that are hanging out and that I have to then also keep in mind. So the way it starts layering up becomes a point where my vision continues to be stuck around the player because I can't move. So I don't even get a chance to see this guy as much, and he's starting to off his new bullet patterns. You might want to clean up your bullets a little bit faster in some cases, not all of them, but just food for thought when you're thinking about your designs here in terms of layering up your boss patterns. All right, so we're in the fat bullet weave right now. Oh, I backed into that guy. Yeah, okay. So check this out. Okay. So here's the thing, right? So as I'm just talking about the weaving of the bullet patterns, right? So let's take a look at where I'm at. So I've got all of these bullets, right? Like these are all things I have to navigate through. And then you have this string of bullets here, right? That basically does this. So these I've got a pretty good sense for, right? Like these bullet patterns, like I can see kind of like the rings, and I'm like, all right, cool. I can navigate through these, which is pretty good. Enjoying that quite a bit. But then you have these lingering, basically these lingering bullets here, which then create this secondary like assessment of how to navigate through, right? And in some cases, I can't even get through the gaps anymore, right? Or the gaps are too hard to make it through. So the gaps between some of these bullets, like I can make it through this one with fairly high confidence, but you have the layering of the other bits, and then you're about to bring on these new attacks, right? So, so what happens to me, so we see this in slow-mo, is I'm like, all right, cool. I've got a good sense for the bullets. I got a little stress from these guys here. I'm trying to figure out how to get through. I'm like, all right, but look, like you can see me here. And I'm also trying to sneak glances over at the boss because I'm not doing any damage to the boss right now, right? Which is making me need to move up, which is good. It's not bad. And so I'm like, all right, I get through this little like spot here. And you got some more chuff bullets coming through here, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. Let me, all right, cool. I got now new pressure coming from these new bullet streams here. I'm getting damage down on the boss, which is great. But now, like, I've got this case where this whole channel here is completely blocked, right? Like, I can't make it through here now. So then that means I have to kind of come up over here if I see that while I'm still trying to look at the boss, right? I don't know. Did I make it through that? Maybe. Let me see. Lives 5. We're HP 1. All right. So I do make it through that. So that's not so bad, but I think I know you may have adjusted the collision box. So I'm still trying to figure that piece out. But okay, cool. So I make it through that. I'm still trying to get that boss damage down, which is great. I've got the bullets here coming through, and I'm back to the sort of navigating through the grid. The boss is moving down. Okay, cool, which is making me navigate down through here. And then this happens, right? And this is why we started this video here. So then this happens where I have almost, in my mind, I have almost no way to get through. And maybe I could actually navigate through this area to cross back over to the boss. And then even worse right here, can't make it through that. So I guess my play here, what did it actually take damage from? Oh yeah, so, and then I had my ass bang into this. All right, so, and then here, so it's like this extra, you got kind of the wave bits here and some of these bullets here, right? So you got these guys, and you have these guys here. You have all the bigger waves there. So what was my, so I guess the feedback I'm trying to give here is the way the bullets are stacking, it's making it hard for me to see the appropriate gaps to engage the boss, right? So the boss is here. So I need to, this is basically my effective range, right? Like here, right now, actually it's not even that. It is, so I think it's just, I have to look again to see, let me take a look at this. Yeah, it's only the boss head that takes damage, right? Okay, so now with the boss head, that means that my effective range for aiming is basically here, right? And so the opportunity for me to get into this space then is, because he's also shooting down range here like this, is making it much harder for me to navigate this really tight gap, or the macro gap, depending on if the boss is coming down or is going back up, right? And so I'm finding the extra pressure of both trying to stay in the channel to do the damage to the boss and navigating through each of the bullets, in addition to the bullets that are starting to block off like my effective place to go to. Very hard to navigate. So I guess part of the feedback here, and it's not necessarily terrible, is that you want to try and create bullet patterns that once you've dodged through, then provide those gaps in order to engage the boss. It's fine for a boss to have bullet patterns that keep you from being in that zone. But then you want to pay off on if I navigate successfully the corridor, right? So I might come back into this corridor from, like it's safer definitely being up here or out of the direct range of the boss. But once I enter into it, I need some breaks in the bullet attacks so I can get some good damage in, right? So then I can decide whether I have to get out of this corridor or not. So just food for thought. All right. Here we go. And oh yeah, you're layering that up. Whoa! Bad. Alright, I got him up there. Here come the faster ones, alright. I'm getting down. And then I have this weird, I don't even know. 3 plants to the right. Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. I was, in all honesty, my brain was thinking about, I believe Kanzaki, and I saw Are You Okay play this, right? He did this thing with his bosses, and I'm thinking about this a lot because, essentially in shmup development, right? Or in playing a shmup, you have what I call your macro vision. So your macro vision is when you're looking at we were looking at everything apparently. Get over there. So you have your macro vision, right? Which is you being able to look at the whole screen to look for whatever targets, right? So this is to scan for enemies, where the main enemy is, right? Position wise. This is looking for power-ups, of course. And when the screen isn't full of stuff, then you have more macro vision, right? But once you have for every enemy, consider bullets enemies as well, right? So for every threat on the field of battle, especially as it gets closer to the player ship, your vision winds up becoming what I call micro vision, right? So you can now no longer, because you're trying to survive and you're micro dodging through these bullets, right? These are micro dodges. Then what's happening is that your vision is pulled to the player craft. So then I have to look across the screen to see, am I being effective in my goal, which is to do damage in this corridor, right? And what Kanzaki did, and was really interesting, and that's why I've been thinking about it. And I'm not saying you should do this, but it's just food for thought. There's other ways to do this, right? So what he did is he put essentially a laser line, like a guide laser on the boss, because as the boss in a horizontal shmup is moving up and down, aligning your vision to see the boss itself means that you have to look across the way. And so by having this guideline that he put across the screen, it meant you always knew where you could do damage from the boss from. Again, not saying you should do this, but it solves a very important problem that we have when we think about micro and macro vision in shmups, right? And now maybe one of the things you could do, that can be done, I'm thinking about this too for my own bosses, is you could have strings of bullets that are fairly rapid fire, but that could, and granted you have to dodge them, but they kind of can get you taught where the boss is shooting from. And you've kind of got your strings of bullets here, right, as well. So I don't know if they have to be fast or not, but this is also why when people prefer rapid fire weapons, because as you are shooting, it's easier to see your micro vision here and then see your bullets traveling across screen in your macro vision. And then that is basically giving you the ability to aim further down screen by controlling your player craft, right? So, all right, anyways, let's get back into it. Gotcha. Oh yeah, dodging these guys. And dodging these guys. And dodging these guys. Oh, fuck me. Oh god. Come on, I got this. Oh, fuck me. Woo, almost there. Alright. Ooh, good damage. Alright. So I'm up there, I see these guys, right? Oh, look at that.
Shield.
Shit. Oh, these fucking bullets are murder. Oh, nice.
Energy.
Ah, that was cool. It was totally cool. You're an ass. You're such a bastard, right? Because what just happened there is that you poop out the power-ups, which is cool. I'm trying to see the boss like dying. I think it's dying. It's exploding, and then it has a gout of flames. Not saying it's bad. It just got me, right? Like, that was tricksy. It was tricksy. Did I take damage there? Oh, I did. Oh, because of that. Alright. Oh, man. Oh, God. Alright, what's the deal here? Man, if I dodge too soon. I'm giving up to its ground? To the bullet leading. Okay. Yeah, so kind of what I was talking about. Like, the barrage of bullets coming from the boss here. Oh, crap. I had to macro around that. Is helping me better aim. Which I appreciate. Crap. Ugh. Oh. Yeah. These, and it's just your design. And I don't think there's, I'm just giving you my feedback, right? So I feel like these lingering bullets are causing me so much stress right now. I think it's just that they just hang out on screen maybe a little too long, and it's creating situations where you can see as I'm trying to dodge and navigate through the environment, where I'm trying to keep track of the slower bullets, and then as the faster bullets come through, I have to keep track of the slower bullets then to navigate, and it's creating a number of sections that I feel like I can't get through, but not completely. All right, here we go. Whoa, what's that? Oh, God. All right, well, you can see it. You know what's going on. Oh, more damage. Oh, got caught. Also, okay, no damage there.
Energy.
Proceeding to the next location. Was that the final boss? Energy. Stage clear. There's some good stuff. The boss had some weird flamey attack thing. I feel like you're not letting your boss attacks breathe a little bit, like you're layering, and there's a lot of cool creativity here. Just like I was talking about and it's just me from my own experience, right? As I was talking about layering up enemy designs, right? I think that when you want to introduce new attacks to the player, introduce them, get them aware, you don't have to go too heavy-handed about this, but when you introduce attack, then think about the layering. But if it's a brand new attack, something they haven't seen, if you're layering that on top of all the stuff they have seen, it makes it harder to understand the new thing you're seeing. Hope that makes sense. All right, stage 3, biomachinery. Dude, this background's dope. Oh crap. Chuff, 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 chuff. All right, we got popcorners and the shooter bits.
Power up.
Chuff, 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 chuff. Oh god. Damn. Got the arrow bits. Ooh. Yeah, okay.
Shield.
Oh, is that a randomizer?
Power up.
Oh, I don't. Okay, that was cool, dude. Nice. That's old school. Like I was rotating through. I didn't quite like. I think I bonked against it first. Take a look. That was neat. Why is it? This is the first time I'm seeing that. Old school. By the way, I mean, I don't know what I did to you, but you were very angry at me in this level so far. They're like, here's some enemies, right? And the bullets are pretty fast. Those guys also have these like flickery bullets. These, for whatever reason, oh, that's why. Look, there's a frame where the bullet doesn't even. Oh, maybe it's because they disappear. No, dude. All right. So these bullets that disappear gave me extra anxiety because I thought I was tracking them, and then they disappear, and then bloop. All right. So then you got these guys. So these guys have got their green bits. I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, all right, let me work on that. Interesting pattern. I get kind of routed. I'm like, all right, use the chuff bits. Those guys come in. Those bullets are really fast. Again, I could probably get used to it. So, you know, like take it with a grain of salt. What is it up? And then you got these guys. And then you have dudes. So those guys come in, they just barrage, and I'm like, I'm still, and so while I'm still, so check this out. So I kind of understand how these guys are working, right? So they come in. So these guys come in just blazing, right? Boom. All right, cool. So then I've got these safe zones here, but now my mission is to try to kill each one of these, right? So I have to figure out how to go about that. And then almost right on top of when these guys come in, like I'm like, oh, cool, here's my ejector, right? Kill all 3 of these. Let me figure out how to like route this. Even if I got the guy right off the start and I still had to go to the top and bottom. So even if I did the guy in the middle, right, which wasn't the best, I could have, you know, then I need to go top and then I have to come bottom to then kill this guy, right? And even before I can get through the pattern of trying to kill all 3 of these guys, you're bringing in these like spawner noobs, right? These guys on top of it, which then gives me an extra challenge. And then, which is not the end of the world, but then what also happens, right? So I guess, where are these guys at? Did I flip? I think I flipped it. Yeah. So even if I would have prior knowledge of the spawn, right, of where we're at. So even if I started down here, right, say I destroy this guy before he gets his first shot off, and then I switch up and then destroy this guy, and then I switch up again and destroy this guy, I might have been able to clear all 3 of these guys. But then what happens is that you start to layer in like these enemy spawns here and here. which then create these bullet curtains, right? Which then makes this center area the place I have to kind of get back to. So just, you know, food for thought as you're doing your routes. And then on top of this, right, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've seen this. Like, look at this guy. This guy is just like, he's just fucking banging these shots down, like these like shots on top of it. And I'm like, what is this thing? Where are these things? And then I just get snowballed, right? Now, I could have bombed my way. There's a bunch of other things, right? But just in terms of layering and taking in new information, like just, you know, again, food for thought, right? So, all right, let's come back to it. Oh, by the way, get rid of this, do this. Let's take a quick look again. And then I'm getting snowballed here, right? And that's not the end of the world. I'm trying to survive through it. You've got these guys. I don't know what that guy shoots. I'm just looking at the bottom guy here. Okay. Yeah, so you got these top and bottom guys. These guys are very hard, by the way, to take one and then take the other, which means I have to, you know, I have to be up here through all of this craziness, right? Which you're basically taking up all this space. I have almost no room. And then I have to come back down here to try to kill this guy. Assuming one of your goals is to try to kill everything, right? Like if you're destroying everything on screen, then, you know, you're the master of your element at that point. That's a goal that I strive for. And maybe it's not yours. Maybe your goal, one of your goals is just to survive at all means possible. And it's not possible to kill everything. I haven't seen you play your game yet. Which I would love to see your playthroughs, by the way. Okay. But that's not the thing. So then, so here, I was like, all right, I picked up on this design language with the arrows. That was good, right? So that reinforced I need to get through. I saw these giant belts. These belts then took a lot of my visual, what do you call it? They took a lot of my attention, my visual attention, right? I'm like, oh, what are these things right here on top of it? They're also bright and contrasty, which makes it hard to see these guys kind of coming over the top. Which then I sort of knew where I was at environmentally speaking, but like I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like the amount of information I was trying to process to come through here was kind of great. Was intense. And then watch this, right? So I'm like, oh, like that actually pushed me back a little bit, and then all hell breaks loose, right? So here comes some new enemies. Like they're just shitting bullets everywhere. I don't even like, I've never seen the enemies before. And I'm like, oh, what do I can't. And you know, like perfectly acceptable to be like, hey, look, if you have a bomb and you have a super, if you don't design any areas to be used for these things, then they never get used, right? So you want to create these moments, and this very well could be a moment. Like you can see, you made me reach for the bomb button, and part of that is that, I mean, if you look here, well, you've got like these guys are new. You've got, I mean, we've got a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't even see these guys here. Like, check this out. Like very rough visibility. These guys are starting to poop out lots of bullets. And then I don't even know what my route would be. Like I think my route, what is my route here? I got this guy lingering, which is putting pressure down. So, okay. So you introduce a group of 3. These guys are moving pretty quick too. Like these guys aren't fucking around, right? So I guess my route would have had to been, assuming I killed this guy. So let's just assume he's dead and I was playing better. So then I have to be up here maybe, because this is where it's pushed me, right? So, and I need to shoot this guy, and then I need to come down, shoot. Wait, no. So I gotta wait. So I gotta shoot this guy, but we've already lost almost. They're already a third of the screen, right? So I need to clear that line, clear this line, clear this line, clear this line, this one, and then this one. And then you're relentless, right? So, and then I was getting my butt kicked. And then the good news is they only take 2 shots. If I were more powered up, I might have been able to hit them. But it's just, they're coming really fast. I mean, I couldn't identify the targets and shoot them. And you have these like these bursts of bullets here, right? These ones here, and they're going kind of all directions. I've never seen them before, so I'm trying to figure out like how to navigate with them. They're also fairly small. It's not the end of the world, right? But it's just a lot of information I was trying to take in to be successful. All right, let's keep going. So I'm gonna get reset here. Reset my route. Where'd all the bad guys go? Yeah, dude, those flickering. Oh no no no! Oh wait. What are those? What the hell are those things? All right, let's see. Ah, I think I'm pretty sure those were power-ups. Sneaky. Were those power-ups that I had to kill? Oh man. Oh, let's see if we see them again. Oh god. Oh, what the fuck? I don't.
Power up.
Oh, what's this? Oh, fuck. Lost my way. Oh god, look at those guys. Oh. Oof. Relentless. Crazy. You just don't stop. Like, the last like 3 minutes has been like cranked up to 11, and I can't even see the routes that I want to get through, and then it's a field of bullets that I'm trying to navigate. So, you know, it's just food for thought, flow wise. Little in betweener. Yeah, you really gotta fix those red shooters. All right, Galvagrim, dude, these guys are cool looking. Whoa, whoa, yeah. I'm doing damage. Oh shit, what the fuck? Wow. That was, I mean, I had no idea those spinny gear things, which are fucking cool, by the way, that they were going to shoot out that way. God, what are these things? They're moving crazy. Oh God. I'd consider adding trails to particle trails to these guys. They're moving at weird erratic erratic directions, and at least a trail would help me understand those a little bit more. So, all right, here we go. Getting some mild Castlevania vibes here. God, Jesus. Okay, so those little, all right, so I'm learning these orange bomber things, right, that I guess these guys are leaving. Can I shoot those? Oh, I can shoot those, all right. That they're leaving behind these like, circle exploding, you know, things over there. Oof. Okay. So I'm trying to, as I'm learning the pattern of these guys, right? So these get left behind by these guys. I can shoot these guys. So I know that now, you know, game development, game design is all about building up rules, right? You might want to consider a particle effect for these guys, right? Because they explode, and then like I'm like, oh, those are dangerous, right? I'm trying to understand like how dangerous they are. So you could have a little particle effect that goes, you know, that basically becomes brighter before the explosion. Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. Okay, gotta get away from that. There we go. So much going on, I can't tell you if I'm even being effective against the boss. I don't think I am. Oh, I looked to the right to the boss. Dude, that is really cool. I love this. The tentacle bits, those are great. Growling. Trying to see if I can shoot these guys. Yeah, I can. Granted, I'm pretty low on my weapon set. These guys, I think, take too many hit points to shoot. They're also blocking shots, but you also have these. You have the gears that are shooting out that are also blocking lots of shots. So a lot of boss protection. So I'd consider adjusting the hit points on these guys a little bit. They're also creating a lot of circle bullet exploders that I need to deal with. Yeah, the speed at which these guys explode as well. I really don't have much of a choice to be able to try to micro dodge through those explosion rings. You might want to consider adjusting the speed of the bullets a little bit, even if it's sort of like a slowdown and then a speed up out. So just, although it might be that you're designed. So what I am choosing to do now, right, is I see one of these and I'm like, okay, cool. This is about the AoE-ish of the area. So I'm like, I got to macro dodge away from this stuff, right? So, but then I have these guys that I'm trying to shoot because they're dropping these. And so now the game loop is me just trying to survive this kind of area here and less focus on the boss. So it's pulling away my focus quite a bit. Now I'm working on destroying these, like, okay. All right, so then I got the reachers. You might want to consider, like, when the gear reachers come out, and I had the same problem because in my game, like, I have a boss that is basically full screen, right? And then he has, like, these giant sword attacks that basically do this, right? These are swords. And then they home towards the player once they shot. So they spawn, they hang, and then they shoot, right? And what I had a huge problem doing is that when the bullets spawn, the player, if they were too close, they would almost get hit by the swords too easily. And so I had to create like basically I had to create like a warning area. Like an AoE warning area, like that was like just a half grid bit. And then I colored it red, right? It was just a dotted line at the end of the day. But what it helped me do is it helped me signal, because I could bring that up ahead of time, to the player that, like, you don't want to be in this boss area. You need to be back this way, right? And so before these, and you kind of learn this stuff anyways, as in, like as a player, right? But every time a player gets destroyed by something that they don't feel like they could prevent or know how to deal with, or there's no visual language to help them have the chance of being successful, they're going to get frustrated because now they have to learn something new with very little of a tell, right? Like And one of the things in Souls games that works really well is that a lot of all the bosses have generally they have big tells, right? They have big windups, and then they have the attack, right? So you might want to consider, some kind of like danger radius area before the gear blades come out. All right. Seeing if I can just deal these guys. All right, you know what? Probably faster. Yeah. This is definitely the better strat for this. Oh, there we go. So I'm trying the rail, right? And it's got pass through, it's got piercing, so that's great. But the rail doesn't destroy these like spinny blade guys in one shot, and so they live longer in a lot of ways. So I know we already talked about the hit points of those guys. So, but it's making it harder to deal with, trying to find the right tactic. You electrify the wall. Nice. Oh, what happened? Oh, I guess I came back. Is that? Oh wow. Oh wow. That's you're just evil. So much evil. So you do this mechanic where you show these electrified grids now, and I'm like, all right, cool. Something is happening. And then you have these electricity bits that come in here. And then, I've never dealt with electricity bits yet. So now I'm like, oh, like I gotta be careful of those guys. So I've learned the hard way. It's electricity. So fair enough. Wait a minute. So, did I see that correctly? So the boss steps forward. I got these two big guys. I mean, I guess I could have been in here. Maybe I could have been in here as the ship. I certainly couldn't. I didn't have much of the opportunity. I think the electricity went away, but that electricity was eating up most of that space here. So I had very little room to navigate. Maybe those were maybe my options. So, all right. I don't know, electricity's still there.
Shield energy.
Those little dark blades, these are cool. Whoa. What the fuck? Did those dark blades, the first ones, did they hit home like this? That's cool. Dope. A lot of creativity with your bosses. I like it.
Energy.
Sub-boss.
Power up.
Whew. That's a lot of boss. That's a lot of boss. Granted, I don't have a lot of strong weapons, so you know it's hard to say. But there's a lot of patterns and things that I'm trying to learn for the first time. I feel like your bosses might be on the a tad bit on the long side. So you've got these upper frame bits, right? And I every time I want to cross into something like this, I feel like I might be getting hurt, or they might be dangerous. And of course, you've got enemies that are kind of in this area. So just, you know, food for thought in terms of like understanding what things are damaging the player versus not. Star bits. Radiant bomb. Yeah. Oh, those are cool. I like those guys coming in on the rail. That's nice. A lot of hit points trying to get through these guys. So, not sure. So these guys, when they're coming in on the threes with the way that the bullets are spreading, it's very, very difficult to try to figure out if I can actually make it through that. All right. So it might be this way with the what am I trying to say? So your popcorn enemies. So now a lot of these enemies are taking more than one shot. And so they're fast moving. There's a lot of them. And it's really fatiguing to line up the shot and try to understand how many I can shoot, how many bullets it takes to shoot each one of these enemies, and then to be able to move aimed at the next enemy, right? So I miss some of your popcorn enemies. I feel like some of these guys could be popcorn enemies, you know, or a mix of them, because I feel like I'm just getting crushed now by the amount of enemies and then not having enough firepower to deal with them. And it very well could be that it's just a side effect of how much damage I can actually do in this craft form. You introduce those guys at the very end of the screen. I'm still trying to. So these guys are almost like a little mini encounter on their own. You introduce these guys on top of basically a whole lot of just waves of enemies. So I'm overwhelmed trying to figure out how to deal with these guys. And they got big shots, big fast shots. Oh, you got these guys layered. So with the snowballing that I was experiencing there of the enemies, I would probably take these guys and then have them leave the screen if you're going to introduce the boss, because we're going to see what's going to happen here, right? But you know, you've got it's about layering and how many things you got. Look at this big thing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wrong button. Wow, these guys take a lot of hit points. They have a lot of hit points. Yeah, so fighting, unless it's all connected and these are supposed to be part of this experience, fighting these guys because I couldn't defeat them in time, and fighting the boss on top of it takes away from the boss, right? I really wanted to explore the Dreadnought visually for a few just moments and then get ready for the fight. So I would recommend timing these guys out in the backgrounds, unless again it's supposed to be part of this whole thing. So.
Power up.
Oh yeah.
One up.
All right, now we can get on with the business. The business in. Oh God. Really? So we got the explodey bits in the front. I'm doing damage to. Oh, I accidentally fat fingered the bomb button. So you got these little noopers here, which I'm able to shoot, and I can see they're flashing as they're taking damage. But I have no idea as a player. I don't know if they have 10 million hit points. I don't know if destroying these will help open up the inner area. So language-wise, I'm trying to figure out like, oh, am I supposed to be attacking these pieces one at a time to open up the core more? Am I just trying to shoot in the core? This is a very, very thin targeting area. One of the things you can do is you can add health bars. You can make them boss bars for each of these. So then at least when I'm shooting them, I can look up the bar and see that I'm making progress. So just think about it. Where this came from. Okay, so I'm not doing damage to the center area, so that's good. Ah, what's up? All right, cool. So those missiles are really thin and small. Those came out of nowhere, so that was interesting. I'm starting to understand the boss a little bit more. I would say that when it comes forward, like this thing is super scary, right? And it's definitely, like trying to stab me, which is cool. It's almost borderline too fast in terms of its stabbing, but I just food for thought. So I don't know if I would slow it down at all, or maybe it needs a little bit of a tell before it does the stab, but it's almost on the verge of me not being able to navigate out of the way fast enough. So, I mean, this thing looks awesome, right? This thing looks super, super awesome. It's multi-stage, right? You've invested so much in it already. honestly, I would basically add. I did a video on this, so I would add enemy plates on top, right? Like just and essentially attach them. So like you can have like this area would be like battle damage, right? Like or battle damage, right? Or explosion battle damage, right? So as you're destroying these things, also because you're making progress, those could affect the boss to reveal these battle damage states. You can do them as basically fake enemies, and then connect them to these weak points, and then evaluate hit points to do that, right? I feel like right now I'm making some progress, so that's good, right? I'm puzzling out what I need to do. I got to focus on these bits, so and that's good that they have a different color. All good language there, but they take so much hit points, and because I don't know how much damage I'm doing, it makes it feel a little disjointed against the whole boss. And it would be really nice to see like visual progress on destroying the boss, because right now all I see is one giant dreadnought health bar, and it feels like I feel like I'm not doing a great job. Yeah, but I'm not. Those missiles are too small. Way too small.
Energy.
Energy. Think energy is hit points? I don't know. I need to go back and look again. Whoa! Jesus. Oh god! Yeah. Not fun there. Alright. Yeah, so I feel like I'm playing Hunt the weak spot, right? So I'm looking for these little glowies. So I found that I have this down here, the silo, which is great. Maybe just some particle effects or some fire or something glowy to help draw my attention to what I'm looking for next. Otherwise, I'm kind of shooting and looking to see if I'm doing any damage, or I'm looking for flashes, right? So also not the end of the world, just oh crap. I think he did a color shift in the middle. That was cool. So overall, I like a lot of the design patterns of the boss. I like what you're channeling there. So you got a bunch of feedback on that. Target obliterated. Facilities seem to extend further down. You should say seems instead of seem there. Things are about to get very dangerous. All right. Woof. Stage clear. starting to feel a little fatigued here. It's a lot to digest. Oh, those are cool. I like your little like squiggly bit lines. Oh, dead. Look at this. Worm. Hit the wall. Hit the worm. These guys are cool looking. Wow. Those guys. Oh, God. Those guys go, oh, look. So, let me see here. All right. So you have some really, really cool ideas, right? I look at these like weird, like proboscis, like I don't know, antennae thing. And then you got these like these, you know, like these chomper bits, right? Those are fucking awesome. And like I can see like here you have like the hints for these things, right? I mean, pound for pound, there's a lot of creativity. Look at the little like lava bits down here. I can even notice that. And I'm, you know, I'm kind of still trying to learn like all these bits, right? Here's the thing is it feels, I mean, there's so many layers that I don't have any time to enjoy the cake. You know what I mean? Like this is so amazing. And then what happens, let me see here. Like, let's watch this again real quick. So then this guy is the first time I see this guy, right? Like, all right, cool. I see the guy, he goes away. And it's like, you introduce this guy. I'm trying to figure out what he does, what's going on. Like, it's amazing. I'm enjoying it. And then you're like, all right, cool. You kind of survive that. Awesome. And then it's like, here come some additional nuggets, right? Boom, 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 right? And it's like, all right, cool. But here come the new guys that are doing this thing that I have only once met like just a second ago, right? And then you're like, by the way, before you even have a chance to like feel like you're awesome kicking the ass out of these things, here comes a whole new wave of stuff from behind you, which then you have to shoot with your back cannons or your AoE, right? And then like now you're kind of sandwiched in between these two things. Like it needs to breathe a little bit. Like you know, one of your responsibilities as a designer is to make the player, allow the player to feel like they're getting better. And part of that is, you know, like the level that you're already developing at and playing through the game at is so much greater than what average players are going to play with. And it doesn't mean you can't have layering, right? But you have so many cool ideas, and they're not marinating as much visually, and they don't need to, like, it doesn't need to be super slow, and like, you know, like you shouldn't have dead space on screen by any measure. But I think part of what you want to do is take a look at these moments you're creating and create just a little more space, and even make it dynamic, right? For the players that are just like destroying, like if the player destroys, you know, like these guys here, and I know this is work, right? Don't get me wrong. So if the player does a great job destroying these guys at this point, then you know, by all means spawn in that secondary wave. But if they're not, and they need to breathe a little bit to understand it, then don't spawn in the secondary wave. Like, so you can kind of go through the level and create a little more dynamic behaviors in order just to let your creations breathe. Because as players get better at seeing the thing and destroying all things, just like you creating your game, they're going to want like this more like just, it's all up in their face. It's going to be snowballing. Like, it's great. Like, that is amazing, right? But you want to lead players to that. And for that, you have to we have to recognize where they're at on the skill level journey, right? So I'm just food for thought. I'm really enjoying what I'm I'm kind of exploring here, but I'm also, you know, like granted, I'm also distracted. I'm thinking about game development. There's a bunch of other things. So, you know, just food for thought. All right, here we go. Shooting bits coming from the bottom. Man, those guys from the top. I you know, they start shooting, but they blend in quite a bit. I you know, like I think I can kill them. Probably, right? All right. They pushed me out. Guys are a little too fast. You guys have new attacks? This guy's attacking differently, the squarehead guys. I thought I knew how they were behaving, and now they've got a new attack pattern, so it can change, but they look like fundamentally the same guys, right? So these guys here. So just, you know, food for thought. All right, here we go. These ceiling guys, they're really close to the wall, and it makes it hard to go up and shoot them with my primary shot, my rapid shot. So it makes it not as fun to try to like get rid of these guys, and because they're putting in a lot of pressure, I feel like they're one of the things I'm prioritizing. All right. Probably not what you intended here. Like an aorta thing. Oh.
Energy.
Alright, here we go. Xenoatrial. Yeah. These guys are cool looking. So we got the stalagmite, wormy things. Oops, they're blocking us. Whoa, that's cool. Got a little squeaky noise. It sounds like it's beating, I guess. That's kind of neat. Power up coming here. Oh, damage. That's my fault, though. Crack's banging. These bullet waves that just appear, those things gave me crazy anxiety. I mean, it kind of works, but it only works because I happen to be in the right spot. But if I'm in the wrong spot, there's no tell for me to get out of here. I think what I would do if I were you is I would create basically some kind of pre-warm attack that shows me this is going to be the danger spots, right? So I can at least dodge out. Yeah, food for that. All right.
Shield.
Would probably reduce the boss health a little bit. I was in the zone and it was just 100 miles a minute, right? And I felt like I felt like I got through a lot of it, which was great. The vine bits are the stalactite bits, right? Like being blockers. Like I was getting a sense, right? Where I'm like, okay, I got to navigate down and then shoot the heart. You have so many bullets coming for such a long time, and it's totally fine. That you have so many bullets, but there's no breaks. And so what happens is that I no longer get to see what's going on with the boss, because again, like I'm again very much in micro survival, right? Where like I'm only seeing mostly this, and occasionally I can glance over and look at this guy, right? So, and because you have these environmental bits that block shots, it makes it to where I'm getting the language, like the design language in which, you know, like for your bosses, most of the bosses you have high skill shot gaps. Like you need to aim somewhere on the boss, and then you're mixing together a lot of bullet patterns, like bullet hell patterns. But it then makes it hard to again see and understand, am I doing well against the boss? And for the most part, like I was able to see in the health bar, I was able to do damage, and like it wasn't too bad. It was a fairly tame boss, a sub boss compared to some of the other ones. But I'm missing those changes in the boss behaviors and the boss patterns, and feeling like I have destroyed a chunk of the boss and now the next thing is coming. Like there's no breaks, right? Like you're a million miles a minute, and if there are no breaks in being able to defeat chunks of the boss, then there's no moments to reset, right? See where the boss is, see where the next patterns are coming. Like getting, you know, like it doesn't have to be a long break. It doesn't have to be an invulnerability break, but it's something to get a reset. Just, you know, food for thought. It doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It's just a different way I'm responding to the bullet patterns, right? So to the boss behaviors. All right, here we go. Nice little cloud layer there. These little wiggly tentacle bits. Those are kind of cool. What's up with these rings? the rings are pretty cool, but they stay around a little too long, I think. Look at these worm things, by the way. They're super cool. Basically what's happening right now is I've got full-on Gradius syndrome, right? I don't have any major power-ups. I can't do enough damage to enemies, and I'm getting overwhelmed. And so my fun is going way down on the scale right now. I'm not even, and before I can even understand and learn how to prioritize defeating these targets, it just keeps layering on and on. So. Which I know is hard. I know it's hard to say. I don't even know if I can do damage to the worm thing there at the stock. That's just crazy. I mean, these bullets, like, they're everywhere right now, right? And they're just in all directions. My brain has no idea what to do with that. It's just pure chaos at this point. So it's hard because I need to snowball, right?
Shield. Emergency.
Maybe I get a reset.
Emergency.
Ooh, look at this guy. That's cool. Corporal Maledict. These purple fireball bullets are a little small. Look at it undulating. Oh, nice. Oh, God. So, it's a big part of your boss designs as well, right? Not being able to do damage to this thing or see that I'm doing damage to like the brainstem stock thing. By the way, the boss design is super cool, but not super fun, right? There's not a lot of reason why I can tell visually that I'm not able to do damage to the bottom of the boss here. So just, you know, good for that. My fault. All right. Music's banging. like the squiggly patterns that these guys shoot out. The thing that comes out like this, super cool. And I like that they linger a little bit and then they come forward. Very nice. All right. Oof. Shield power up there.
Over shield.
I feel like I can get through that one very easily. I like your little shield effect there. The sauce. The sauce. Yeah? What? That was a really long pause. So hole leading to the source. It's time to end this. It's time to end this. Yes. Stage clear. Off to the sauce. The sauce, of course. All right. Woof. Oh, look at this. Chasm of Tastrion. Nice. Love the camera. Wow. It is the background is really noisy. And it's hard to even see, especially as this stuff is starting to happen, these enemies against the background. So just, you know, food for thought. Got hit by that. Cool. So I don't know if this is on purpose or not, or intentional, but when I do die and respawn, I don't have control for like half a second. So it makes me feel, it's like I spawn here and then it's like a quarter second or half a second, and then I can start moving. It doesn't feel good. I'd recommend just having control immediately.
Shield. Power up.
Everything has so many hit points. I feel like I'm not shooting anything. And again, I mean, Gradius Syndrome, right? You die, you lose all your power-ups, and then you're so weak that it almost feels like you just want to start over. because it's better to just be super powered up with all your weapon sets. So just it's a hard thing to combat. We all have to deal with that, but I'm definitely getting that feeling right now. These guys all have too many hit points. The amount of stuff that they're putting out too. Pardon me. Those are cool. Dude, I love the aesthetics of the level inside. Super cool. Oh. Let me guess, these hurt? I don't know. Jeez. Ah, damn it, I fat fingered a bomb. All right. Oh, ran into that. A lot of hard to distinguish the foreground from the background. I don't know what the sparkle things do. Oh, I think the sparkle things are damage. Sparkle things, I don't know, often are usually like pick-upables. I can't shoot those things either. I don't know. Confusion.
Emergency! Emergency! Power up.
Dread, the Axis, scion of the new flesh. Dude, she's dope looking. Ah, super cool. Look at these, like, ninja stars. Shurikens. Whoa. We got a little bit of Sinistar flavoring in the background. I like it. Nope. Nice. Whoa. Dude. Oh, damn it. I fat fingered the button again. Fuck. So you got these big beams that shoot out, and it's just luck that I'm in basically the right spot, but they shoot out so fast that there's no way to dodge. Anytime you kill a player like that, where they just had to know what space not to be in my opinion, is not great game design. You're gonna piss off a lot of people that way. Now, granted, like do what you want to do, because there's a school design that can think the other way, right? Which is lots of pattern recognition and to work through that. I think you kind of a nice happy medium is like have a short tail. It can be very short to dodge, but then essentially, if you're going to have something that shoots out that fast, then have a warning indicator and then shoot out the beams themselves. So just so the player gets out of the way and they don't feel like you just obliterate them with one shot. Oh, that was me. All me. There's rays. That's kind of fun.
Power extend.
Whoa. Nice. This is cool. Very cool. Oh, I'm in trouble. Ah, nice. Trying to see how much damage I was doing to the boss to see if the spread was close up, doing more damage. Relentless.
Power extend.
So these guys are just hanging out. And those are so mean. So mean! Like they're just hanging out, just waiting to live that dream of smashing me. I mean, I wouldn't stress out too much over them. But, you know, I get what you're doing here.
Energy.
Too many hit points. Took a long time. Not sure how long that boss took. And it's a sub boss, right? Look at those. This is cool. Look at the cool transparency layer with the I don't know what's going on. Damn it. The environment looks so damn cool, and then the enemies come and ruin it. And I just got done getting barraged by the sub boss, and I don't have any time to breathe. And now here comes a new barrage of all of these bullets. I'm definitely getting fatigued. I mean, I had a little bit of breather to look at the environment, which was cool. But yeah, just thinking about how to layer it back up, right? So many bullets, I can't navigate through the environment very well in order to shoot the enemies. It's a chore to kill everything. I want to be able to like destroy stuff quickly. I need more power-ups. As in, I'm not saying I need more power-ups, but I wish I was more powered up right now. But I keep dying, so I'm not. I need to get better to see what that feels like too. Nice parallaxing. Like the camera work here. Good job. All right. Ooh. All right. So aside from the bullets, right, which we talked about here, I mean, so let's just take a look at this, right? So I've got this bad dude and this bad dude. This guy I haven't killed, right? And so I'm trying to kill him, which I do. Great. Now I got another guy down here, but I didn't see him yet because he hadn't spawned or he was off screen. And so like, okay, cool. I've got to deal with this ring, right? From the exploding bit of this guy. Not the end of the world. I got to power up here. I still have this target here. And then I had this one back here and I got this one, right? And so like I get this and I see this. I want to try to get that. I get blasted, unfortunately. Part of what I'm missing, right, is that it's, you know, it's just there's this flow of how enemies are progressing through the environment. And because these enemies are taking so many bullets, like by the time I commit to essentially destroying one of them, then I've got more enemies to deal with. And so I basically, I get, you know, I get snowballed again, right? So I think one of the things to think about when you're watching the gameplay is even in a situation like this, assuming this guy's in here, the moment I destroy this guy, like I could have destroyed him had I been closer, had I destroyed him earlier in screen, that would have been helpful, right? But then what's the route here? Like, what is the route? So is the route like this guy, this guy, this guy, and then this guy? If so, here's where my ship was, right? And because I see this power up, I also need to go and get this, right? So then, like this guy is the most threatening guy now on screen, this guy here. So I think part of what I would think about if I were you in terms of design, right, is what is the flow? You know, just play the game, and what is the route in which the player can optimally kill all of the enemies, right? So you had a bad guy here. So is it, you know, aside from me dying, right? So then it would have been this guy, and then what? Is it this? Is it this, and then this, and then this, in terms of like the ship, right? So, and then it would be, so like this would be the first, second, and then this would be 3, right? And then back to 4. And then, so now you've got these patterns that are repeating, right? So is it, what are you trying to design here? Is it that kill through one wave? Is it kill through one wave and let the wave come up to the more towards the front of the player and then come down? How, because when you spread your enemies around these lanes, right, there's only so much time you can commit in each lane to clear it before you need to move, right? So it's something to think about in terms of the way you're flowing through your levels. And then here, because I don't have the optimum clear route for these guys, now I have this guy down here, right? And now I have this guy up here. So this guy being the front guy would mean that I need to be down here to shoot at this guy to clear this. You have a power up in the middle, which then draws my attention here, right? But I need to finish this guy as much as possible. And then, you know, maybe I wait for this, but then come up here and clear this guy. You know, unfortunately, I got these guys in the middle here. So I decided to go forward to get the power up for the bomb. And then what happens here? So I got in a safe spot because these guys essentially, and I don't even know if I saw this guy well down here, but basically this is creating like danger, right? From this guy shooting, right? So it pushes me forward through the power up and then kind of into this area where I'm at right now, right? So I'm trying to use the back cannon to kill this top dude. And then these guys come up from here. So they come in. I've never seen these guys before. And because I'm using the back weapon here, these guys kind of do this thing where they come in and loop and then go down, I guess, right? So that's cool. I can dig that. But if I were further, I mean, the thing is look at the distance between this guy here and this guy here, right? So assuming that I would have killed this guy and then I would have killed this guy, then I have this power up here. Then I need to catch these guys. Guys on the move are harder to target, right? So just think about the distance you have and where you want the player to be in the world because there's only so much information that they can focus on, right? And power-ups definitely, once you get used to seeing them, also are this way of attracting the player to certain spots, right? So, and now I should have switched. So I switch over. I kill a couple of those guys. And it's like this thing where I think this is the first time I'm seeing these guys. So you give me one. And then you have this guy here that's then putting out all this pressure. And then these guys come in from the opposite side. So I come down to try to deal with the pressure here. And then these guys are just spamming. These guys are spamming more bullets, right? And you have a lot of just bullet chaos. And bullet chaos, where it feels like it's just bullets going everywhere, means that it's harder to understand which routes that I want to make through the bullets because it feels very chaotic as opposed to deterministic, right? If these guys were like, these guys basically had, you know, and it's one thing if they, let's take a look here. They enter and they have their bullets, and then they exit and they have their bullets. So, I mean, you have the dude, right? Like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure if you're using random, the random randomizer here. Fighting through a lot of randomized bullets, not super fun. It can be fun, but if it feels like the screen is just constantly being, having random bullet generators, it makes it less deterministic to understand how the patterns are going to behave, right? So I see these guys poop out, and then what happens? And then they have a bit of a spread, and they also wind up eating up a lot of space. Actually, they eat up a lot of, like, as these guys spread out, right? They're eating up more and more of the screen in terms of like danger, right? So. And I definitely have identified this guy that I am shooting, right, which is good. But I also have now like this kind of curtain of bullets. Just, you know, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of examining it. And it's like, I mean, if you watch as I'm kind of cruising through this, right? So here's the new enemy comes on screen. I see the new enemy. I'm about to shoot this guy. Then this guy and this guy is now overlaid, right? So, and I'm like, all right, let me try to shoot this guy. These guys immediately come in. There's no way to deal with them as quickly because I was still dealing with this guy. And so now these guys have already pooped out more of their bullets, right? And again, I'm trying to learn about the bullet patterns. And they're also I'm trying to aim at these guys, right? So I actually wound up getting killed there. Very visually noisy here too. So like when you have this guy here, is very hard to see against this background, right? You also have these kind of like I don't know, whatever these things are. These are super cool looking, by the way. I mean, I'm looking at this, and then I think part of what I'm having not a huge issue with, but it's just that there's so much bullet spam, even from like these guys. Like you could turn off the bullets from these guys, and it would be just fine, right? Because as they come in, I can't really kill them before they get their payload off, their first one, and then before they leave, they do their second payload, right? But that means I have to track these guys down in their cycle. I have to either be down here where I'm kind of catching them, or maybe at their parabola, right? Maybe down here, this is my ship. And if I'm shooting each of these guys, but then you bring these guys in and they're just shooting their bullets, and it makes it very hard to like track the targets and destroy them before they continue delivering their bullet payloads. So again, I'd probably just think about, hey, how do you want players to flow through the level? Because every time an enemy comes on screen, ideally, if you're on top of it, the player is then able to deal with that wave or that spawn. And by defeating those enemies before they dump all of their payloads, in some cases, or at least their secondary ones in this case, right, makes it easier for the player because they're not dealing with as much threat from additional bullets. So food for thought. All right, let's jump back into it. It's an interesting one. Those glowy current guys are cool, but they're also super. I mean, they're super. I mean, these guys with their glowy bits, very, very cool. I can't tell you if that field is damaging or not. First part of it says yes. They take a lot of visual interest. I mean, it looks like one of them pooped out a power up, so that was cool. But yeah, it's hard to figure out how to deal with those guys. I think they're taking damage.
Emergency.
All right, it is damage, or it's a damaging field. Okay, it doesn't really read as a damage field. You might want to think of like an AOE. All right, carnivorous biomass. Dude, look at this guy. Oh, cool. Nice, easy to dodge. Okay, I've got a thing where I'm not doing any damage to this guy. So having bosses that are attacking and that can't be attacked, it's not the end of the world, but not super fun. We got backwards bullets, huh? We got the opening bit here. Nice on the backwards bullet. I like the suck in. Very, very cool. Looking right when I should have been looking left. This guy. I like the little spinny bits. These are cool. Spinny bullets. Dude, the suck in on this is great. This is a fantastic design. I love this a lot. And I don't feel like it's too crazy to navigate. And it's a little harder because it's backwards, right? I got the feedback on the railgun. Whoops. I have these little nebula bombs that are blocking and pooping out stuff. Feels like they could be destructible. Maybe they are. I don't know. I feel like if I could deal with them faster, that I would not have dealt with as much bullet spam. I consider making those destructible. Otherwise, I just have to avoid them. Wow, that was evil.
Energy.
So this is one of your recurring themes. I am super fatigued at this point by every boss having a precise place that I need to shoot. And so here you have it again, right? And then, you know, I get the, you know, we're all creatures of our own design, right? So here's the weak spot. So cool, I got the weak spot. But in order to shoot this thing, like, I mean, I have to be so precise aligned, or I have to try to use the charge shot, which we, you know, like it's not my go-to right now. For reasons, it's not a lot of fun to have a high fatigue button charge up and release that you have to constantly do. It's a different type of play style. That's a different thing. But I think here, you know, this is super stressful to try to align my ship, right? With this area, and I'm also trying to dodge. So as I am dodging, you know, in each of the directions for the ship, you know, basically every time I have to get out of the way of the center zone is time that I'm not doing damage to the boss. It's time that I have to look across the screen to the right again, you know, to try to see if I'm doing well, you know, because this is my only other indicator that I'm doing well. There are other ways you can address and improve this, of course. But it also means that, like, you know, like the stress compounds, right? So it winds up kind of fatiguing me at the end of the day. It is very hard to look across the screen and to shoot very small areas of the boss. And even more so when a boss is small and it's moving around, right? Because, you know, like that's a different level of mechanics. So I think what I would recommend is just be a little more generous with the player. I feel like, let me take a look here. Let's take a look. I mean, getting blocked right here, like, I mean, you have collision right here, right? Like, not fun. Way not fun. Very, very stressful to like land all of these shots. It's like, you know, like Luke putting a, you know, proton torpedo in the Death Star, you know, in the Death Star exhaust port, right? I think what I would do is I would recommend, you know, pretend this is your collision, right? So I'd recommend that your collision be something like this, right? You know, just open it up a little bit. That way, the player has a little more room to navigate this corridor in which they're shooting, which means they'll be more successful because more shots will be able to stream in. And I mean, at the day, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of bullets to dodge. One thing that is definitely not fun is when you're not being effective at slaying the boss and the boss is continuing to, like, you know, to give you a tremendous amount of pressure, right? It's fun, don't get me wrong, risk reward, but it's not fun if you continue to not be good at shooting it's not fun if you don't feel like you're making decent progress because the longer anything stays alive, the more bullets on screen, the more dangerous it gets, the more anxiety there is, and the more skill it takes to be successful, right? So I would consider doing that in this design here. Also, one of the things that's freeing, and it's not really in your designs at this point, right, is when a boss, you know, when a boss is basically the whole screen, right? Then, and if you're doing damage to the boss anywhere, and this is completely opposite, but then you don't have to really worry as the player. Like you could have, you know, you could have damage. Well, the problem is you don't have two forms of damage that you can actually do the boss in this particular case. But I'm not saying change the boss to this. But what happens is when you're in these long horizontal shmups, a boss that is full screen basically means that wherever you're moving, right, you don't have to worry about precise aiming. And so then you can focus more on macro dodging, micro dodging, dealing with the boss attacks. So just, you know, that's something I've been thinking about too, as we both have been working on horizontal shmups. All right, let's get back into it. Oh, my fault. Dude, I know we talked about it already. Let me see. Let me just double check. So we already talked about, I mean, you've also got your extra evil because these guys, when you're doing well, then are also blocking the danger spot. And I know we talked about them being destructible, but also if they're not destructible, then having some kind of sound effect, or I'm not, these might be enemies. I'm not sure how you set these up to reinforce. I mean, I kind of understand that, you know, like they may be indestructible. So, but it kind of helps with the conveyance that don't bother like trying to shoot these guys because they're not taking damage, right? So, food for thought. All right, let's get back to it.
Shield.
That's cool. Damage. Damage again. Oh, did that guy actually die? Boy. Gotta remember the Pierce. Damn, fat fingered again. You might want to consider. Instead of making the railgun a charge up and release, just make it an auto fire with a charge up. That way, it's not as fatiguing, and that will give you more opportunity than to get me to think. Because right now I'm not really wanting to use it because I'm missing a lot of my charges, and then my DPS goes down quite a bit. But it would get me to think more about the pierce shot being able to go through like those circle bullets, right? So like these little blocker dudes that are coming out. Maybe that you know, food for that. Whoa, here comes the thinger. Oh, what's that? Ew, so good. Oh. Whoa. So maybe it's because of the carapace. Fair enough. Again, I'm shooting these. I have to then shoot these weak spots, right? So I've got a lot of time where I'm shooting an enemy that's doing nothing, right? And that might be the game. It's definitely part of your design philosophy here. But it's frustrating me because I'm not able to, like, I have to parse every enemy to where the weak spot is and figure out how to shoot it. It's very puzzle-esque. In the midst of doing dexterity puzzles, right? So I just food for thought. I don't know. It's just I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure what the. I guess the question is when I have to do very specific aiming under duress. What do I what do I get for that? Oh, this thing's disappeared. Why is that? It's weird that those things disappeared. As opposed to going through the world. I like the movement patterns on these things. Try to get out of that.
Energy. Power up.
I don't know why those spinny bits are just hanging out. I like that they go out and then they stop, or they slow down. Wrong spot again. Too many hit points. Remaining corruption is heading out of space. I need to stop the rest of it before it is too late. All right. How we doing? Getting towards the end of it. Stage clear. Woof. It's a big game. It's a lot. It's intense. Whoa, this is cool. Stage 6, Snowbound. Dark purple guy is a little hard to see. Oh, look at these guys. Holy crap. Like little crystals. Wow, these purple bullets are crazy fast. points.
Power up. Energy.
So, totally a design bit here. I'm obviously navigating through the environment. You might want to consider having the environment, and now you do this sparingly, but it's a nice little design thing to think about. So bullets that pass over the environment, dangerous for a different reason. But if the environment is also blocking bullets, it kind of rewards the player for being tactical. So think about it. These ice things. Dude, oh crap. That was cool. Awesome. Dude, that was awesome. That was super cool. Shit. Fuck me. What did I ever do to you? God damn. Having enemies on top of geometry? Not fun at all, because now I have enemies that I can't actually deal with, and they're on top of geometry. Also, these ice stock guys are going to be a pain in the ass, and I think maybe this crystals I can destroy. I'm not sure, but I'm in a weird spot now. Yeah, okay. Crap, dude, really? Come on. Those bullets are so fast, I can barely dodge out of the way of them. In terms of ship movement speed, that is. Breaking these crystals is amazing. Super fun. And revealing the enemies inside, awesome. Very, very cool.
Shield.
Those lasers from the, I know I said it, but these lasers, they shoot really fast. They're very hard to see because of the flickering on top of it. And it almost just makes chaos and very, very hard to dodge.
Emergency. Emergency.
Ooh, look at that. Look at the background. Nice. Dude, this is super cool. I love this like holographic like crystal thing. Cryostella. Oh dude, look at this guy. Yeah! Whoop. Oh hey, I should have spoiled it. Alright. Damaging the crystals, but not into the boss health. Yeah, no. Same feedback. I would put health bars on each of these crystals. This is not fun at all. In terms of trying to shoot and know that I'm making progress on the boss. Maybe in the middle. Whoa. Rail cannon, please. Little board here. These guys got little crystal trails. Nice, I like that those power ups. It took way too much, too many hit points there. Oop. I guess you're going for like, you have to use the rail cannon vibe. And you already know my thoughts on the rail cannon, so it's making this boss even harder. Yeah, so the other thing with the charge up and let off, it is incredibly frustrating to undercharge and not have anything happen, right? So like I'm charging, I'm holding down the button and I'm trying to, hearing the audio cue, the charge up, the chink, and then the shoot. But if I let go of the button too soon, then I basically have to recharge. So it becomes very taxing. Just mechanically speaking.
One power extend. Energy.
Dude, really like the visual presentation here. Super cool. These little stars too moving around. Dude, that's awesome. I don't know how you did that. Pretty cool. Alright, here we go. This is a music track.
Energy. Energy.
Dude, loving the adventure flavor to this. Getting overwhelmed. Yeah, those laser shots are rough. They're not fun to look at. They're very, very stressful. In terms of tracking the bullets. Going up. Look at the background. That's super cool. Oh, neat. And it shows through a little, it's like a space elevator. It's very cool, dude. Very, very cool. Here we go. We're going faster. This is awesome. Aw, it's over. I think you could have, I think you could have extended that and gone a little bit faster by another like 10 screens, and I think I would have really enjoyed it. But that was super cool. Very cool, man. Guys look kind of cool. Not a lot of fun to kill them. Oh, jeez.
Energy.
Too many hit points. I mean, I had that guy tracked. So something to take a look at here, right? Man, some of the aesthetics in this game are amazing. Really enjoying them. So these guys, again, we talked about the cloud of bullets everywhere. So I am using the spread there. So I'm like, well, at least I can shoot kind of in all directions at once, but I'm not, like what is the route here, right? If I'm destroying all enemies on the screen, what does the player route look like this? And I think it was the way that they're moving, which is very, very cool. It's interesting to see, right? So, but that brings us to the next piece, right? So, take a look here. All right. So when you have enemies that are circular, you can see this guy, right? Like he's moving around. Like in this case, he does this cool part where like he does this like a little loop-de-loop thing and then he comes down, right? But enemies that move in circular patterns, basically enemies that move in circular patterns mean that because they are moving up and down, again, when you think about where you're at ship-wise, you then have to, as a player, track them, right? When they're moving up and then track their movement to shoot, right? So things that move erratically or in circular patterns are harder to shoot. Coupling that with high hit points, right? A lot of HP, mean that you have to track them for longer, as they go through their route, to then be successful in killing them. And so you can see what happens to me here. Like I'm pretty much on top of this guy, right? I start shooting. I'm like, oh, cool. I switch over. Awesome. And I'm drilling this guy. Look at this. Boosh, 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 boosh. I miss a couple of those shots because I have to get out of the way. Was it that guy? Maybe it was the other guy. Oh, yeah, because I had him in between. Yeah, I think it was that, right? Oh, there we go. And here's the... Okay, so I kind of learned what was going on, right? With these guys. Again, those other guys that have bouncy patterns too. So I'm like, oh, let me switch over to single target. I dodged the pattern a little bit. I learned his pattern. I took a little damage there. Okay, fair enough. Then I got three of them. I got this guy. He's in the back. It's like he doesn't want to go away, right? Like, and it's just punishing me because I couldn't kill him in time, And then like I have now the crossover. So the danger becomes, extra because now I've got here and I've got here and I've got here, right? So it kind of puts me in a place where I have to do a lot of microing to get through these clouds of bullets here, right? So, ooh, I'm getting hungry. I need some food. Gotta wrap this up here. So then I reset. I'm like, all right, cool. Let me see this here. And then I get this guy. And I'm really going for it here, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm on point. I dodged down and in with him. He gave me a lot of space and time for this guy because the next guy down here is coming, right? And I just couldn't seal the deal. And it was at that point, and I was committed. Obviously, I got booged by the enemy, right? And look, you can see like that's my little sad panda. I tried so hard, like face, but you know, again, I have like base weapons, you know, like it's rough, right? So, but I felt like the amount of effort I put in by learning from that guy and trying to defeat him should have been enough to kill him. And it wasn't. Maybe I need to get good, but you never know, right? So, all right, here we go. Getting back to it.
Radiant bomb.
Try to reset. Oh, look.
Energy. Shield.
That pattern, I felt like that pattern would have been better if you just had a string of enemies. You can do something like this, right? Like follow the enemy waves. But instead you have like, you know, you have 2 waves, right? And they oscillate up and down. So it makes it very hard to like finish one line and then finish the second line. Not as satisfying. I mean, it is super satisfying finishing a string of enemies. When you're tracking along with them, and then you see the next enemies that you want to go to, and because you have a lot of stuff going on right now, it's hard to know which enemy strings to engage, which lanes basically on the screen to continue that engagement. So, and these guys, they pretty much just demoralized me at this point. And maybe that's what you want, like this kind of craziness. That last tail end, they just do not want to leave. So there you had the, I think, I don't know if these, I don't know how to deal with these laser gates yet. So maybe I have to destroy the nubs to get rid of the laser bits. You had a bunch of enemies coming through. So I was focusing on them, but not killing the gate. So I'm just trying to figure that part out. Okay, I'm getting a little. All right, here we go.
Power extend.
Nice big power system. Ooh, I'm getting seriously hungry. This cosmic cloud layer is super fun. I feel like you can use more parallaxing here, kind of like you did earlier, but still enjoyable. All right, pathogen tyrant. Oh, there we go. This one's the newest boss, hot off the presses. This is why this is now a beta game. Don't have me flashing. What am I supposed to do here? Oh, I guess eyeball. All right. Little hand bit. I like the I-beam. Pretty good. Enjoying the track. I'm in the wrong spot on this here. Horny pathogen tyrant. Nice scripting on the hands, pretty fun. They kind of break up the pattern, which is real nice. I'm sure you're gonna go crazy with it, but still. Double eye stock. Fun. I can feel like I'm in the zone there, dodging those. Boss. Yeah, the eye stock attacks here are really fun. 3 hit points. All right. So you are super, super addicted to very small targetable areas. I mean, here, I mean, I would just give it a try. I mean, it doesn't have to be everything, but it'd be nice if maybe I was shooting the whole thing. I don't know if the arms blow off individually, but it'd be a lot more satisfying because it takes a lot of pressure, again, to track with this guy, right? And to constantly be hitting the eye. And it feels good when I'm dodging those weaves, and maybe just reducing the hit points or upping the player damage, either one, it might be more effective. But whenever I'm not in alignment or the boss forces me out of alignment to hit that weak spot, then it takes much longer to defeat the bosses. You know, and it's going to be a lot more variable too for players, right? Go. Oh,
Power extend.
nice. Oop, army. Oh, there his eyeball is doctored. Flying through those is pretty fun. I guess I'm doing damage to the whole boss. Yes. Maybe. Oh, I got blasted. Some of these two little like orby things. Takes it forever. These infinite tracking orbs are not infinite, but they stick around. That's a lot of homing. Not super fun. I see what you're doing with the layers building up there. That's nice. I like that they're a little square and like feel like I can move almost into them. So. Yeah, too much homing on those guys. I would cut their homing time down by a lot. Maybe one or two. But yeah, so that way that it's not just, you know, like they're completely dogging you the whole time. So just food for that. Bonus clear. Okay. Yeah, I would just shore it up a little bit. I love a lot of the designs you've got going on with that. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at... With the last remnants of Tastrion eliminated, the universe can feel safer. The universe. Where's our music? For now. Bum, bum, bum. Tastrion! Defender of the universe! I don't know what a Tastrion is. I think it's the alien things. Congratulations, you saved the galaxy! Okay, so obviously you're gonna polish this and all that. Wow! Holy shit! That was intense. That was very intense. All right. I am starving. We had ourselves adventure. Okay. Wow. We looked at enemy routes. We looked at there's a lot of creativity in this game. A lot of creativity, dude. You have a lot to be proud of. Absolutely. And there's a lot of fun to be had here too. You know, I'm just first time. That's my first time playing with the content. You're on the long side of shmups. So like my game's like an hour and 5 minutes to play through. So I would definitely watch your time. I wouldn't add more content. If anything, I think I would definitely work on having your bosses like tighten up those phases, you know, and or take a look at the way your weapon damage is scaling. Maybe that you're playing with all the best weapon sets, and so you're destroying the bosses super quick. You're also using your charge up shot all the time, probably for the piercing, to get through a lot of these tight gaps that you have with weak spots on the bosses. I would suggest taking a look at that again. There are a lot of enemies that feel like they should be popcorn enemies, that are taking too many shots. I feel, and granted, still could be that being at the maximum weapon set, there's something to be said for that. You can take a look at Gradius and kind of Gradius syndrome with that. Overall, you've come a long way in terms of environment design. There's some really cool looking environments. I think you still have a couple of cases where it's too noisy in terms of visuals in terms of picking out the enemies from the background. I would suggest, and I mentioned this before, I would suggest, you know, one, you need to play test this thing. You got to play test anyone that's going to give you time. Play test. Yeah, because it needs. You need to watch the playtesting footage and then to see how players are playing. But not only from the starting point, but as they progress and they get better at the game, what does that look like? So obviously you're at the highest tier. I would love to also see, like, if you're not, I would recommend recording your own playthroughs and going back through and watching them to see how you're struggling. Looking again at your enemy routes. There were a lot of cases where I think bombs would have saved, you know, and knowing and identifying bombs and what that would look like. That would have like helped untangle some of those snowballs I was encountering. I don't think everything should be easy to kill, obviously, but I would definitely look at your routes. Like, how do you want the player to transition through the level? And when you drop a power up, where are they going to go? When you complete a string of enemies, which are the next ones? How do enemies layer on top of each other? And what does that look like? So, and then also just giving yourself a little time to introduce enemies so the player can understand some of the designs. It feels a lot of this stuff, like you got bored and then you started creating the layers, with you already knowing how all the enemies respond and not necessarily from the perspective of someone encountering the enemies for the first time or even just subsequent times. So, right. Think about that. And when you play, pay attention to how pre-positioned on screen you get, because you know where everything is in the level. How important is it to be in that position? And if you're not in that position, then how long does it take to get to there, right? And if you're trying to kill an enemy with the base shots, how long does that take? And then how does the level design flow? How do the enemies flow and create that amount of flow for the player? You know, and I think the other side, and you know, I think BogHog said this one of his videos is really good too, right? Which is what was it? It was basically when something that's super helpful, and I think your environments are really showcasing this quite nicely. So anytime a player can identify where they're at in the level and kind of start to remember what kinds of enemies are there and where they're spawning from, they can put themselves in like this mental checklist of like, okay, here comes the tricky part. I need to be up here and then here and then here. And then I have to rinse and repeat that to catch each of the enemy waves. Right. And I think that's super important. And I found that a lot of times it's the first time for me playing your game. So, you know, like take it for a grain of salt. But as I wanted to get better at trying to respond to where I saw enemies and being on top of all enemy spawns, keeping the screen as clear as possible. Is it possible to do that? Or are these bomb opportunities where it's not possible? I think the other thing to take a look at, right, and you can see from the gameplay footage, which is you have a lot of cases where you like turn it up to 11, right? And you're just like, go, 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 right? And then, and I'm not saying you don't want downtime. I'm not saying we should explore the environment. I don't, but there's a difference between 11 and 5 on the dial of how much and how many bullets are coming at you and where they're coming from you. Again, I take a look at a lot of these sort of random cloud bullet spawns. They don't feel very good to navigate through, or to identify the patterns, because the pattern is mostly chaos, right? That's why bosses are a lot of fun, because they often have bigger patterns in terms of trying to navigate through them. Yeah, dude, you should be super proud. The game needs a lot of tuning and balancing. And I would recommend getting a demo together, or getting another closed beta out, or whatever you want to do in that space. And then just doing your best to like tune the gameplay based on players, because again, it's already clear the speed at which bullets are traveling, your ability to know the enemy patterns, the visuals for some of the enemy bullets. There's a lot of stuff that you just know, and you are going to be the best player at this game for possibly ever, right? So it's much more humbling to watch people come and see what they're responding to, what they're finding fun, where they're having hard spots, and then to like smooth out those curves, or to tuck some of those curves into dynamic difficulty, right? Where it's like, okay, cool. As players get better at really getting their lines together, getting their routes together, destroying enemies, then having an extra layer where like, oh, they did kill them in time. Then let's layer on some more of this good like special sauce, right? So that way the game becomes more difficult. I know that's more challenging to design for, and in some ways you're designing, three tiers of the game at that point. So, and that can be extra challenging. Overall, again, I think it's fantastic. I think you've got a lot of good stuff here. A lot of the visuals are great. The environments a lot of great. The bosses are creative. Compared to the build I played months and months ago, this has come a long way. So for the people out there, you can connect with us in the Shmup creator community. I know that a lot of the developers there, myself included, are very willing and able to watch people play. Like, we can only make games better by playing them and iterating and talking about them and experiencing them, right? Like, everyone is different in which they, in the way that they come to games, right? And the way they work on the problem solving bits. And, again, where we kind of started this video, every person out there represents hundreds of thousands of people, right? So even if you only get 100 people to play your game, you could have a sample size of 1 million different people that would maybe approach the game. Doesn't mean you should act on every piece of feedback, but it gives you data, and you need data in order to improve the game. I had a lot of fun. We talked about the fatty hitbox a bit. If you do go to a weak spot design or a less fatty hitbox, or shrinking it a little bit, you might want to work on the visualizations for that, of course, Magna. I liked a lot of the weapons. I really am not enjoying the rail cannon. I think we talked about that at the beginning as well, for a couple different reasons, and which I don't think we have to rehash here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to put this video up because I need to eat, and it took much longer than I expected. Wow, it's 7:30. For the folks that made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. I hope this is super helpful for folks out there. I think we got into it much deeper than in the style of video, especially when we start to look at like enemy routes and deterministic flows for the players at and what they're experiencing. And I enjoy doing this. This is super fun. So thank you for being here, and thank you for subbing the channel. Thanks for being part of the community. And until next time, we'll see everyone then. Take care.